Chair thanks the gentleman. The chair now recognizes the gentlewoman from Nevada, Ms. Titus.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I could not disagree more with my colleague about the need for classical architecture on every one of our federal buildings. I support the notion that has been in place for decades that our federal buildings should reflect the culture, the talent, the history of the places where they're built. We don't want a courthouse in Boston looking like it's from Santa Fe. We want the Santa Fe courthouse to look like that. So with all due respect, one man's eyesore is another man's Notre Dame. So I have a bill called Democracy in Design that would do just the opposite. So you don't have to thank me for that question. That I want to put that out there as a statement. Now, through its Fine Arts program, GSA maintains one of the oldest and largest public collections in the United States. Some of this work goes back to the 1850s. It's displayed in federal buildings all around the country, courthouses. It carries deep cultural meaning, significance, helps us understand our culture and our history. Now, as you work to get rid of some of these buildings and to oversee the federal real estate portfolio, I want to be sure that this art is being protected. Taken care of like it should be. So we have an Fine Arts Protection Act, directs the GAO to survey the art that's out there in the collection, provide a recommendation of how we can protect it. I'm wondering if maybe you're aware of that, if you are doing that, are you working with other institutions like the Smithsonian? And what about the murals that are on the outside of the buildings that you're selling and tearing down? What are you doing to protect those?
Well, thank you for the question.
Answer the question.
All right. We certainly want to respect the artwork in any facility that GSA is disposing of, and that is our goal. GSA has options available to itself to include covenants in the artwork or to maintain covenants in the deed, maintain ownership in the artwork, and those are strategies that we would utilize to ensure that artwork is preserved appropriately.
Could you give us some of that information about what those covenants are and what's actually being done instead of what you might have in place to protect that art?
Yes, ma'am. Happy to follow up with the committee and provide that information.
Okay, good. I'll look forward to getting that. Now, another question I have is that recently the State Department X account posted that they had renamed the Peace Institute, the Institute of Peace, to now the Donald Trump Institute of Peace. Now, I have some personal reservations, political reservations about putting his name on Institute of Peace, given his foreign policy and some of his renaming of the Department of Defense and all that. But I wonder, what is the GSA's role in allowing that name change to have happened?
The GSA did have no formal role in that renaming. GSA transferred the building back to the U.S. Institutes for Peace earlier this year, and we had no involvement in the renaming of that facility.
Well, according to our legislative council, it's still a GSA building. So why wouldn't you be involved in that, or did you just abdicate your responsibility?
The transfer back to USIP occurred, I don't have an exact date, but it occurred within the last month or so, and would be happy to follow up with you and your team to clear that issue up.
That'd be great. And so if you could also send us maybe any of the communication that we had between GSA and the State Department about renaming that. Surely they told you they were going to do it, even if you didn't have any input into it. Or did you just see it driving by?
If the committee does have written requests for information between GSA and the State Department, happy to follow our normal customary procedures.
Well, thank you. Now, also, this is not the only thing that's happening here. I mean, we've torn down the East Wing. I mean, that's outrageous enough. But now we're hearing from the president he's got other plans. We're going to have an Arc de Trump. He's put together some commission of unknown people, I don't know who they are, to look at other changes to the White House and other reforms and other rebuilding, make everything look like Mar-a-Lago. How is the GSA involved in that?
I'm not familiar with those conversations, and respectfully, I'd have to defer to the White House on that matter.
But isn't that your job? Those federal buildings to oversee?
Well, there are multiple agencies involved with the management of the White House. GSA is one of them, but
what about this new ARC?
I'm not familiar with those details. details, no.
It seems like GSA is kind of helpless or hopeless in light of what's going on with our federal buildings and just dictates that come from the president. Is there any reason to keep you around?
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons to keep GSA around. You know, we deliver savings for the taxpayer, provide high-value services to our customers. But with respect to the projects at the White House, I would have to defer to the White House.
Or the public art, or the ARC, or any of that?
Well, as I mentioned a few
I'll
moments
yield
ago,
back. Thank
we're
you.
certainly committed to preserving artwork and respecting its historical integrity.
All the same.
The chair thanks the gentlelady that